Good morning.
Good morning.
I call this meeting of Lake Mary Toastmasters Club 6440 to order. Before we proceed with the meeting, please silence your cell phones or beepers.
Beepers, yes.
You pick beepers. I would like to ask everyone to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Our club mission is to provide a supportive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. With that said, please help me welcome our Toastmaster of today, Diane M.
Just need my glasses. Good morning, everybody, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I welcome you here. This is my first time as Toastmaster, so if I make a mistake, hopefully you won't know. Today's theme that I chose was success stories, and I chose that because I wanted to inspire people and let them know that there are a lot of people out there that have had issues, and they've become really, really successful. There have been scores of famous, ingenious, and productive men and women, and a lot of them faced hurdles. There's been business gurus, scientists and thinkers, inventors, public figures, Hollywood types, writers and artists, musicians, and even athletes. Some, such as Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, and Walt Disney, created dynasties that are household names. But their ascendancy to greatness did not go without challenge or without failure. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination and had no idea. He had several failed businesses and bankruptcies, but eventually found a recipe for success. Along with overcoming much physical and psychological abuse in her childhood, Oprah Winfrey was fired from a TV station because she was unfit for TV. Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard, failed at his first business venture before he was successful at creating Microsoft. And there have been many success stories that have changed the world with their inventions, ideas that were literally balked at and mocked. Albert Einstein didn't speak till he was 4. He was refused admittance to schools because he was thought to be mentally handicapped. Yet he went on to win the Nobel Prize and change the face of modern physics. Thomas Edison was thought too stupid to learn anything. He had over 1,000 attempts at his light bulb before it was perfected. Even Orville and Wilbur Wright surmounted depression, family illness, and many failed prototypes before they created a plane that could remain airborne. Henry Ford was broke 5 times before he finally created the Ford Motor Company. There's scores of entertainers, writers, and artists that were turned away for having no talent. Lucille Ball and Harrison Ford, they were told they didn't have what it takes to be stars, but somehow they prevailed. They thought Fred Astaire couldn't act, couldn't sing, and could dance a little, but he proved them all wrong. Theodore Geisel, also known as Dr. Seuss, was rejected by 27 publishers, and our beloved Peanuts comic strip would never have become a reality if Charles Schulz hadn't ignored what people said about his cartoons and his ability to succeed. J.K. Rowling was a single mother, penniless, divorced, depressed, but went on to become one of the wealthiest women in the world with her Harry Potter series. Elvis Presley, the Beatles, Mozart, Beethoven, Babe Ruth may never have been known if they had listened to those who didn't see their greatness, but they believed in themselves. Would there even be the America we know today, or a free world as we know it, if it weren't for Winston Churchill, who failed out of the 6th grade, was defeated in every election until he was 62, and when he finally became the prime minister, and through his inspiration, guts, and staying the course, pretty much saved us all from Hitler's rule. They all struggled and failed again and again. But Michael Jordan, who was cut from his high school team and had many setbacks before his illustrious basketball career, explains it best. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Okay, so today, that was just a little tidbit for everybody so that maybe you'll feel inspired. Today we have a couple of speakers. Our first speaker, to get to that part, I'm sorry. Our first speaker is Alexandra B.
Before you go there.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me. Oh, yeah, so today we're going to introduce the technical table before, and I sort of changed the order around so that we'd have more opportunity to use our word of the day, ascendancy. So could we please welcome Julia Kaufman, who is our grammarian.
Rich. I know him personally. Very successful guy. I am the grammarian this morning, and the role of the grammarian is to track members' use of grammar clearly and concisely, to also point out areas of improvement, and also to introduce the word of the day, which, as Diane already eloquently used, is ascendancy. Ascendancy was chosen because of our topic of success stories. The definition is listed both on your agendas as well as listed on our sheets placed strategically in the room. It means to govern or control and to influence, to dominate. You could look at it as a negative or a positive, which I see as a positive in our theme today. You can also use ascendant or ascendance, and I will count that for the word of the day. Use an ascendance, the ascendancy of our club officers to acquire DCP President's Distinguished mirrors the success of all of its club members. I will give my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Julie. Now, if our odd counter, Martin Bell, would please give a little summary of what he's to do.
Good morning, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. The purpose of the odd counter is to note words and sounds used as a crutch or pregnant pause by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections such as and, well, but, so, you know. Sounds may be or. I will also be listening for double clutches such as I, or this means, this means. Those utilizing any such form of these filler words will pay the treasurer 5 cents per infraction at the conclusion of the meeting.
And now, Gus Davies is going to be our timer today. Could you please let us know what you're doing?
Thank you. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. The role of the timer is very important in assisting the Toastmaster, Diane, in keeping the meeting on schedule. Each segment of the meeting will be timed. And those who will be speaking, when you get up to 2 minutes, you will see a green card and start to wind up. When you see a yellow card, you have 1 minute, and this one means stop. And for those who will be doing table topics, you have 1 minute. In 45 seconds, you'll be given, in 30 seconds, you'll be given the green card. In 45 seconds, you'll be given the yellow. And when it's 1 minute, you see the red card that says stop. This is not soccer, so you have to keep going. The evaluators, they will have 3 minutes. And 2 minutes, you have the green card. And in 2 minutes, 30 seconds, you have a yellow card. And then in 3 minutes, you please finish and sit down. At the end, I'll give my report.
Thank you very much. And now we go to our speakers. You'll notice that on your agendas there are all the objectives that each of the speakers are supposed to be working toward. And I think it's good to note that because as people are speaking, you can say, oh, are they meeting those goals, and how can I do that when it's my turn to speak, and see if I can actually project like they do. Our first speaker today is Alexandra Balda. How do you feel about being played by your grocery store? Alexandra wants to stress that you are not alone. Even the most savvy individuals can find themselves being victims of food fraud. Delivering speech number 9 from the Confident Communications Manual, Persuade with Power. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Alexandra Balda with her speech. Food fraud, I'm being played by my grocery
morning. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Being plagued by your food store. Well, the ascendancy of food manufacturers is getting out of control. Fraud. What is the definition of fraud? Some words to define fraud. Well, fraud is defined as a scam, extortion, cheat, and confidence trick. Let's also talk today about what are the types of fraud. Individual, corporate, online, and food. Yes, food fraud. But before we continue forward, we need to understand how the manufacturer's thought process is. Think about it. They sell units of 10 millions. So this is 10 millions of units. And let's say they add 1 penny or 2 pennies to each bag of chips or each bag of chocolate chips. Don't you think that add up? Those tricks add up. This morning, I'm going to talk and teach you about 5 products that you should not, definitely by any circumstance, buy or put on your grocery cart. And we unveiling these trickers. The first trick of the manufacturers are bags full of air. I just want to say, I'm not sponsoring or banning any brands. Let me just start with that. But this is something that you really need to pay attention when you go grocery shopping. Bags full of air, which is approved by the FDA, by the way, to have some airspace in your bags to protect the food. But some manufacturers abuse the system. Let me show you really what are you buying here. Which, by the way, how much is the price for this bag?
$4.29.
Almost $5. Are you ready? From that beautiful bag of chips that you bought, this is what you're getting in products. So what they're doing, they're destroying the planet because they use more material, resources to sell you this beautiful big bag of chips. And what are you getting for your money? So this has to be out of your shopping cart. The second guilty here is buying products by individual package. Because they are 100 calories and you're going to lose weight. Yeah, right, you're going to lose weight by eating chips. Okay. Anyway, if you see here the price, $3.29 for this A package of chips, which is only 5 ounces and 36. This costs you, again, I'm not supporting any chips, but for $4.29 you're getting more ounces of the product. So what I advise for you to do is get individual thank you, bags, and take the product and divide it and break it down. So definitely buying individual products, you just giving the manufacturers more of your money. The third one is my favorite. Do you know that we're eating wood? Yes. This is a code that the manufacturers use, cellulose. Cellulose is a code for wood. So be careful because when you see high fiber, give me the good fiber. Give me the fiber that coming from the grain, from the flax, not from wood. I'm not going to eat wood. So, and if you see in ingredients which are very tiny, and you have to look for these, cellulose is wood. So really, high fiber products are wood. If you see the regular one, you won't see cellulose on the ingredients. So look for this little guilty one. Unless, do we have somebody pregnant here and have wood cravings? The next one is plump chicken, plump turkey. What does plump mean? Plump means food is injected with water, sodium, and who knows else is injected on these products. What you need to look, my advice is, if you see on the ingredients, which I can show you after my presentation, if you see ingredients on a piece of chicken or turkey and you see water, sodium, etc., plus all the chemicals they injected, don't buy it. Look for products, chicken, turkey, or any type of meat that when you see ingredients, you just don't see anything, pretty much. I mean, no preservative, no all this crazy stuff. So don't buy plump meat. And this is also one of my favorite, bottle of water. This package costs $4.29. Think about it. If we divide $4.29 divided by 12 is 35 cents per bottle. I see people going on the street, oh, I'm thirsty, and they buy a bottle of water for $1. I see sometimes they charge more. I understand, I'm not saying like don't buy bottled water, because you're going to have a gathering, you're going to have a party, you're going to have a business meeting, and you need this to be handy. But I see people on a daily basis consuming these type of products. My suggestion is, and I bought this on the Whole Food, buy this bottle, they made out of glass, which is very good, it's no plastic, and just put water, and this is what you're going to bring on a daily basis to consume. My goal today is to teach you and to tell you that you need to stop making excuses. It is difficult to go to the grocery store and read every single product. I know, it's hard. But I want for you to remember and leave today with these 5 products in your mind. You need to take care of these products, and when you see them in the grocery store, you know that you're a shopper, that you are smart, and you are not going to buy any of these products. Stop making excuses. One step in the right direction, it is a step to the right direction. Stop making excuses and stop getting played by your grocery stores. Madam Toastmaster.
Okay, I hope everybody enjoyed Alexandra as much as I did. Could we please look at our speaker evaluation forms on the front of the desk? If you'd like to evaluate Alexandra's speech, we're going to have 1 minute to do it. Please set 1 minute on the clock. Gus, thank you. Okay, that's the end of the minute, and you may just pass your evaluations down to the person that just spoke. Our next speaker will be speaking from Special Occasion Speeches, project number 4, presenting an award. In his 16-year journey through Toastmasters, Stephen has been a member of 7 clubs, served more than 160 months as a club officer, competed in 167 speech contests, and delivered over 300 speeches. Today, Stephen is honoring a fellow Toastmaster for accomplishing that which he himself has not done. Please join Advanced Toastmaster Gold, Stephen Morgan, for A Journey of 1,000 Speeches.
You've heard the phrase, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Every one of us is born. Our teachers taught us, we learned, and most of us eventually graduated from high school. Many of us continued on to higher learning, achieving associate's degrees or bachelor's degrees. Some went on to master's degrees. Only a few continue on to the ascendancy of education, doctorate. But how about I put it a little bit of a different way? Because a journey of 1,000 speeches begins at the icebreaker. And all of us give our icebreaker. Most of us continue giving speech projects, and some actually finish their competent communication manual. Those that continue their Toastmasters pursuits down the communication track achieve advanced communicator. Those that go down the leadership track will eventually get competent leader and advanced leader awards. Where both tracks meet is a rarefied path that only a few will walk to reach distinguished Toastmaster. To reach this level, a Toastmaster must have given at least the 10 speeches in the Competent Communication Manual, all 10 projects in the Competent Leadership Manual, completed the High Performance Leadership Project, which is leading a team, served 6 months as a club officer, including the training and the club success planning meeting, completed 6 advanced manuals, 5 speeches in each, 2 for your advanced communicator bronze, 2 for the silver, 2 for the gold. Presented 4 of the modules from Better Speaker, Successful Club, and Leadership Excellence series. 2 of those are needed for your communicator silver, and 2 are needed for advanced leader bronze. You have to have mentored a new member through the first 3 speeches, sponsored or mentored a new club, or coached a struggling club back to charter strength, conducted a seminar from the Success Leadership or Success Communication series, and served a full year as a district officer. In sum, to reach and become a distinguished Toastmaster, at a minimum, you must have served for 18 months, performed every role in the meeting many times, and presented at least 47 speeches. In the 12 years since Lake Mary Toastmasters chartered in 2002, only 3 members have achieved Distinguished Toastmaster. Our club mentor and first president, Kevin Dunn, and our club sponsor, Wayne Fogel, were both already well-traveled along the Toastmaster tracks, and it was our club chartering that helped them reach the Distinguished Toastmaster. Only 1 member in Lake Mary Toastmasters has been here from Icebreaker through Distinguished Toastmaster, Stephany Byrne, until now. This Toastmaster started off very low-key in October 2004. The icebreaker was very matter-of-fact, and the next several speeches were about work, hobbies, and particularly books. What I remember most was the 8th speech, the visual aids, where the projector and the slides and the big screen took center stage, and our Toastmaster was hiding over in the corner hoping no one would look over. I would never have guessed that this was the person who would present the bravest and most powerful speech I have seen in 16 years in Toastmasters. On a Tuesday morning where I was expecting another professional and informational speech, instead we experienced a sobbing and tear-filled emotional outpouring about the sexual abuse of a loved one. We come to Toastmasters to change, and we come to Toastmasters to be changed. Because of this Toastmaster, I have been changed, and for the better. So Lake Mary Toastmasters, I ask you please stand and recognize my friend, our member, our past club president, and our newest distinguished Toastmaster, Woo! Julia Kaufman. The distinguished Toastmaster pin comes yours too. Would you like it on?
Well,
Well earned and well deserved.
thank you very much. Just to say, this is emotional. It's been a long journey. I've enjoyed it, especially for the friendships, the learning I've gotten, and just the stories I've heard. I've grown just because of your stories, and I thank you, and I'm very proud of this honor, and thank you, John, for your support. Thanks.
Thank you, Stephen, and congratulations. Really done. We now have 1 minute on the clock to evaluate Stephen's speech. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Look out.
So we trying.
Thank you, everyone. R.H. Macy, Abraham Lincoln, Harry Truman, Jerry Seinfeld, Marilyn Monroe, Oliver Stone, F.W. Woolworth, Soichiro Honda, Charles Darwin, Isaac Newton, Steven Spielberg, Vincent van Gogh, Monet. The list goes on and on. All of these people have something in common. They've all failed, and they've become big success stories. How did they do that? Well, on the back of your agendas, there is a list of 14 things that every successful person has in common. They know when to stay and when to leave. They know what they do more than what's asked for them. They're willing to fail in order to eventually succeed. They know that they make their own luck. They set real goals that they can accomplish. They take accountability for themselves and their actions. They make change instead of being affected by it. They're able to adjust to changes in the marketplace. They communicate their story effectively. They ask the right questions to people who can deliver the right answers and, of course, give their services in return. They're lifelong learners who push themselves out of their comfort zones. They know who they are and their place in the world. They are more excited about the journey than the payout, and they create instead of just consume. Those are given by Dan Schwabel in Forbes magazine, and I thought they would be helpful for everybody in here. Now we have our illustrious Master Topics Master, Stephany Byrne. Please welcome her so she can question us all.
For the benefits of guests, if you see anyone cringing or trying to duck, trying to escape my notice, it's because this is the opportunity for them to speak off the cuff, without preparation, without having any idea what I'm going to say. So, watch for them as they try to smile and duck. Okay. Success stories. It's been said that success is a journey, not a destination. How do you spell or define success, Paul Walsh?
I'm trying to evaluate, see if that's all right.
You need a break from that, right?
Yeah. They already told me how impossible that was. So it's more impossible. But thank you, Table Topics Master. How do I define success? I define success as more of a journey than a destination, of being a good friend, good family, and also working hard. I think a lot about, actually I'm trying to give a speech on passion and following your passion, and So I think if you're able to follow your passion and try to help other people and contribute, then you're successful. I get it? Yeah.
Not bad. Do you believe that wealth is an integral part of success, Jorge?
Table Topics Master and fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. This is my punishment for coming late. But I don't think that wealth is, what was it, wealth is a factor of, factor of success. I think that obviously wealth and coming from maybe a wealthy family, or not even a wealthy family, but a more wealthy family might put you in better situations to succeed later on in life, and that's just luck of the draw. Is really, some of those things are out of control of individuals. I think that some people, just depending on their certain circumstances, are put in certain places to have opportunities that'll eventually lead to success more than others, but still success isn't the end-all be-all, or wealth isn't the end-all be-all. There are definitely ways that people can work hard and strive, especially in this country, to overcome, even though they might not have all the same advantages other people have, to overcome that and become successful in many other ways, defined in whatever way you define success personally, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that wealth is a factor. Sometimes it makes it easier, but definitely there are ways around that, and you can make yourself successful without having those advantages.
And you'll tell us later on how to do that.
Yes, of course.
When I was in banking, we had this customer, always pleasant, in his ascendancy to have a good bank history, to be regarded as a creditworthy customer. His accounts were impeccable. He had a good grasp of the financial situation. He was a joy to serve, and he had the respect of the whole office. Tell me, what do you think he did for a living? Was he American? Was he foreign-born? Erika. Tell us what you think he did. How old were you?
I don't know if I followed.
A great customer. Accounts were impeccable. Saved, invested, pleasant, wasn't demanding, just an all-around nice person, creditworthy.
Who is this person? Is he foreign or
Foreign American.
Or American.
How old is he? What did he do for a living?
Okay. This person would have to be, most likely, I have witnessed domestic, but initially I'm going to say foreign, because I feel like a lot of the ones that I've encountered are very humble people. I have known some that have over $50,000 in their bank account and live very humbly. I would also say that this person would be in their 50s or above in order to have that level of maturity.
And you think they were domestic type?
I think that they would, I'm persuaded towards international versus domestic.
But what did they do for a living?
What did they do for a living? They would be someone that achieved much success and gained wealth, but still have the living statues of someone who does not have wealth.
Okay, but
At one point, what they did
occupation?
well, I could say a coach of a very successful team. I'm thinking of a person.
Nice guess. Would you like to know the real answer?
Yeah.
American-born, African-American young man in his 20s. He was a bike messenger.
Complete opposite.
And when he came into the office, everyone said, "Good morning, Mr. Jordan." That's the funniest thing.
What's his name?
Okay, I'm not going to tell you his name. He went on to do other things after that. Describe for us your components for success, Ernst.
Madam Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. My definition for success is, I'm sorry, I have to go relate back to soccer. Fourth time. Go ahead. 1, 2. And their ascendancy the best World Cup soccer team ever is evident by knocking Brazil down in the second round. But let me just share with you the first time Germany won the World Cup soccer championship was actually 10 years later after the defeat of World War II. It was in 1954. Now, to me, being destroyed during the World War, rightfully so, and soccer to be perceived as a dominating power in the world, 10 years later, winning the World Cup, to me, that's a definition of success, especially in terms of soccer. By the time I say it,
Thank you. Tell us one of your favorite standout success stories, Mike.
One of my personal favorite is Steve Jobs. He gave a speech to our commencement speech to Stanford University, and what he said was that when you fall down, don't be afraid to get back up. He was fired from his own company that he started. He turned around and started 3 other companies and was rehired back on by his original company. Still, he did not let defeat stop him. That was my personal, or my favorite success story. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Master Tabletopist Master. Now I would like to introduce our General Evaluator, Erika Benfield.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As the General Evaluator, I'm here to introduce those that are evaluating our speakers for today. So I'd first like to introduce Evaluator Jorge Friggles. Actually, I think there's a change. To Kerri Bird, evaluating Alexandra B's speech.
Fellow Toastmasters, and especially Alexandra. I really liked the topic of your speech. Your speech was for persuade with power. I think you did make a good case for everybody to read labels while they're at the grocery store. I thought you had a good use of the room. You came out from behind the podium, you walked around, you had good body language. One thing I would say is that the main point you made was reading the packages. I also think that a point is, a lot of it is that you need to know and do research before you ever go to the grocery store, because you were using words like the cellulose. If somebody's reading that, they're not going to know what it is anyway. And you need to know what's in your food before you even go. And I think that's a point that maybe you could have also made. And the other thing would be to make the point of reading the packaging prior to actually even showing us examples. Because that was the very last point you made, and it was the most important, I think, which I think is great that it was at the end, but I also think you could have said that towards the beginning so we knew exactly kind of where you were going with everything. I thought that, however, I did think you had a very good use of humor throughout your speech, and I look forward to your next one.
As a General Evaluator, my ascendancy continues. The next evaluator evaluating Stephen Morgan's speech is Paul Walsh.
Thank you, Erika, Master Evaluator. Evaluator. Welcome to Toastmasters, and especially Stephen. First off, I hope that everyone, when they're giving doing this project of presenting an award, can present it to another distinguished Toastmaster. That's seems like a hard goal for everyone but that works out well for this speech for you. And I thought you did an amazing job. Obviously, you're very experienced yourself. You were reading your notes, which there was a lot of details to follow, but I thought you did it very fluid, and you still could see the sincerity even though you were reading your notes. If I had to offer an area to improve, other than kneeling and bowing to Julia, I thought you could have maybe done a little more research into actually some of maybe her sacrifices that she had done. You definitely knew her history and had been at a lot of her speeches, which is more than probably a lot of people that might be presenting the award, but just as something that we could have heard more about along the way, some of the times where she was questioning. I'm sure we all along this path are interested in hearing about those times when they're not so sure you're going to continue, and then you do continue and get there. You had some great specifics, talking about the eighth speech and the visual aids and her shying away, and I'm sure we all appreciate when we can have visual aids so we don't have to be the center of attention. And describing, you could have described her, well, you did describe her ascendancy into distinguished Toastmaster, and of course reaching to where, describing her most powerful speech you had ever heard. And so that was awesome, and you could just tell how sincere you are. And like I said, it's a super easy award to be very sincere because it's amazing. And I just can't, when you come here, you start with your first speech and you start to, maybe I'll go for that, and then you start to realize, I think I did my head, I got 60 speeches in my head that along with all the other stuff now that I'm realizing you have to do. I'm figuring if I stick around for about 5 or 6 years, I think maybe I'll be close. But awesome job, really enjoyed it.
Okay, so my ascendancy continues as general evaluator, and I'm going to lay it on you today. For starters, a suggestion is if we are going to continue to grow and have those that are willingly enough to get here, I think we should have maybe a guest section near the door so that anyone who enters doesn't have to scramble to get those seats because no one wants to be in the front. So an observation and a suggestion is to try to keep those empty seats towards the back so that it makes it more comfortable when someone or a guest from Panera wants to jump in. Another observation, Diane as Toastmaster, a lot of content. I didn't even know you could speak so fast and get it all in there. Within the time I watched the time, and it said 7:34, and you had laid it on us. So I do appreciate the agenda that she used. It was very legible. She had the word of the day written on there, making it easier for all of us to try to figure out how to use ascendancy. I heard a few comments about here's my quarter right away. On the back, I really appreciated the things every successful person has in common. So I commend you for that. Overall, I think thus far the meeting has gone very well, and I appreciate the theme and the thought. I feel like the two speakers put a lot of effort into what they presented today, from Stephen's speech to Alexandra's entertaining, informative speech. Thank you for your efforts. I would next like to introduce our technical table, starting with I'm going to mix it up, our grammarian, Julia.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. We did great in terms of using the word of the day. Very impressive. I thought it would be tough, but almost everyone that got up there used the word, if not everyone. I heard the word used by Alexandra, Diane, Stephen, Stephany, Ernst, Erika, and Paul. If you did not use the word of the day and spoke, please give our new treasurer 25 cents. And in terms of grammar, I just didn't see anything to correct. I don't think I was paying really that close attention to that. I loved the speeches and was enthralled in what everything, especially Stephen, because it was personal. And thank you, General Evaluator.
Next, I would like to introduce our awe counter, Martin Bell.
Good morning. Before I get into all of the ahs, I would just like to thank Alexandra for a very entertaining speech. Well done. And I believe that Stephen also eloquently described the ascendancy of Julia very well. In terms of all the ahs and ums, Alexandra, I had 5 so's, 1 but, 3 double clutches, and 2 wells. Diane, I had 4 ahs, 1 1 light, and 1 well. Stephen, 2 double clutches. Stephany Byrne, just 1 so. Paul Walsh, 4 uhs, 2 and 3 double clutches. Erika, just 2 so's. Mike Hughes, 1 double clutch. And Kerri Bird, 2 1 so, 4 double clutches, and 1 pause. Congratulations.
Last but not least, our timer, Gus Davies.
Thank you. Toastmasters and guests. Let me start with the speakers. Alexander, you have 5 to 7 minutes. You took 7 minutes, 55 seconds. And Stephen, surprisingly, it said 3 to 4 minutes. He took 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And he got all those words in there. I was watching that. And for the table topic, Paul Walsh, 49 seconds. Go ahead, 1 minute, 10 seconds. He was still thinking about Germany. And Ernst, 1 minute, 20 seconds. Erika, 1 minute, 40 seconds. And Mike, record, 35 seconds. And for our evaluators, Kerri, you had 1 minute and 30 seconds. And Paul, you had 2 minutes and 37 seconds. My ascendancy to this position was because the report was given before I spoke.
One last comment. I'm hot today. I don't know if it's me, but I felt a little absent-minded at times because I didn't know if I was going to faint just thinking about it. It could be just the coffee. It was extra hot today. But that was just an observation, is to maybe just check the thermostat before we get started and we do what we can. Make them turn it on an hour before, because it was really warm and it's only going to get worse. August is the hottest and rainiest month of the year. That's another theme. That is my report. I would next like to call back our Toastmaster, Diane Manikowski, to introduce me.
We didn't plan this earlier, but then got derailed. So before I do introduce our next our president, I would just like to say that I really enjoyed doing this today, and I thought everybody did a great job. Stephany, table topics were great, and everybody's answers were great. And I hope that the theme was good, and that you now all ascend to become better speakers and better Toastmasters. Please welcome our club president, Erika Benfield, with our club visit.
Take notes, always have an introductee and plan ahead. Thank you. I'd like to take a moment to let our guests speak and introduce themselves, tell us what they thought of the meeting.
Hey, how you doing? My name's Rich. Whenever I talk to a crowd, I like everybody to say hi to me. Say hi, Rich.
Hi.
I thought this was great. I'm definitely, if I could join, I'll just join whatever paperwork. I'll give you my credit card.
Welcome.
I don't care how much it is. I thought it was very well put together. I'm looking, one of my dreams is to become a motivational speaker. I love speaking in front of crowds and inspiring people and making them more successful, getting them out of their comfort zone. So I think I found a new family I'd like to join. That's it.
Our next guest, Jeff.
I was here last week for the first time, and for the same way he does. Feel this is very much what I need to excel in the different fields that I plan on doing in life. And as you can see, I'm already kind of, this is what I need. This is very good. I love the camaraderie. I said that last week. I love the team spirit here and just the encouragement from each other. And I like your personality too, man.
We definitely have a lot of inspiration in this room and those that we need to follow and a lot of mentors that can help you get to your journey for sure. I would next like to talk briefly. Oh, I missed another guest.
My name's John Kaufman. I'm Joya's husband. I was here to support her getting her DTM. She's worked really hard for the last 10 years to get that. So we're planning on going up to the next meeting in Jacksonville where she can do her DTM walk. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm really impressed with the overall format of the meeting and everything you guys do.
Thank you so much. Even though he's not officially in Toastmasters, he's heard enough speeches and helped critique enough to be a Toastmaster. So thank you so much for your 10-year journey, most likely hearing Julia as well. I want to cover a few important parts of our upcoming meeting, but first, let's all give a round of applause to our new officers that are here today. It was very fruitful, very knowledgeable. We have a greater sense of appreciation for having this wonderful room, having food, having the accomplishments. I know some of you as guests may not know what all these means. I know now. I know more than I ever wanted to know. I do want to point out that those of you who have joined onto Easy Speak, I will say this. We are going to embrace it. It's going to be a little uncomfortable. You're not missing a speech. You're not missing a speech of training. Something happened where it was rolled out before a speech was given on how to use it. But for now, if you can hang in there until July 27th, Stephen? 29th?
Yep.
2 weeks. There's going to be a presentation with giving you an overview of what it means. But for now, if you're going to get these emails, so I'm just going to point out to you that there's a lot of tabs in there. You really only need 2. One is the user list and meetings. That's it. It will be a place for us to get our communication. You can actually see people's phone numbers if you have to call someone. You can also sign up and have your introduction put in one place. I am aware that there is something coming in the future. Could be a year, could be 2 years. But for now, let's just have an open mind and embrace it so that we can make our Toastmaster every week more successful. It's really difficult to keep track of all the emails going around, so if we could try to just use that. I myself honestly was not that open to it initially, but I sat down yesterday and maneuvered through it. And I basically, what I got out of it was user list and meetings.
And the profile page so you can check your progress.
Right, but it's all under the user list and under the meetings tab. So for now, if you get an email that says Easy Speak, and as I was corrected, not Speak Easy, that's use it for now. Also, another great tool to use that some of our newer members may not be using is LakeMaryToastmasters.org. They're on the last tab under resources. There's links to everything from an agenda to links going back to Toastmasters.org. So we do have a website that is about 99% accurate. Use it because it's called LakeMaryToastmasters.org. www.LakeMaryToastmasters.org and Easy Speak. From there, I also want to point out that we as a club need to take a little bit more accountability of our dues when we're making mistakes. I know it's on an honor basis, but if you could pay our treasurer that little 5 cents, believe it or not, will make all the difference in getting us with the funds that we have. Those guests that are here today, for $98 every 6 months, it basically covers your coffee and your pastry in this room. We do pay a fee of almost $50 a meeting, and the little change that we get can really make a difference. So I really appreciate it if you could, we call this in Rotary Club the Sarge card, where we kind of pay a bunch at a time and then we're good. We have a little card that we use our happy dollar with. Anyway, that's a whole other speech. But if you want to give $1 at a time and you're good for a couple meetings, go for it. But regardless, we really do appreciate that extra little bit of money to help keep us in the green.
And I do take donations.
And that's Diane, our treasurer. You can pay that to her. Our upcoming meetings, next week we have, starting with, hold on, I'm looking at the wrong week. Today's the 15th, right?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, now, here's something new. Easy Speak has an agenda to your cell phone. So I'm not reading off my phone, I'm actually reading off of the Easy Speak agenda. So I don't have to have paper, which is fantastic. And it says that our Toastmaster is Paul Walsh. Yay! We have our grammarian, Susanna Letchford. All counter, Bud. Do we know if Bud's going to make it? We're not sure, but he has an Easy Speak email. Those that are email challenged, it's all right. We can pass around a piece of paper and you just check that you can do it, and that's perfectly fine. If we don't have Bud, it's going to be Paul's responsibility to at least call him or check with someone else to help fill that role. We also have first speaker as Mike Hughes.
Great.
No?
Okay.
Mike, go.
Martin Bell, second speaker.
Yay.
All
Who's
right.
second speaker?
Martin Bell. So your
No, he's got it.
He has or not
Yes.
done his icebreaker. Okay.
Yeah. You ready for the second one?
See, we were just commended for being so organized. What's going on?
Erika, he said he wants to do his second speech.
Perfect. Okay, so we have Martin speaking, correct? And I don't see another confirmed speaker according to this.
Who's the other one listed?
It was,
listed on here. Oh, Jorge's?
oh, it
He
says
said next
George
week.
Free.
Oh.
So you're the
What name is that?
I can't, there's no one else with a J.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're our third speaker, yes?
Sure.
Sure. Evaluator Alexandra Balda.
Oh.
General evaluator.
Yes, yes.
Second evaluator Kerri Bird. And evaluator Mike Hughes.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Timer
Your evaluator.
Julia.
I guess.
Marion already covered that. And look, I understand now what happened, because my login is FLQ Design and it says awards FLQ Design. So whatever you make your user ID, it will show up on the app. So let's go back and put our full name so that I don't call you Jorge Free.
Okay.
George Free. George, not even the E. J-O-R-G. Okay. So that explains that. Please look for the email. If you have any questions, let me know. It looks like the primary roles are fulfilled for now, and if Paul has any questions, he knows what to do from there. Are there any other comments today?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. 1 minute.
30 seconds.
Timing. I have to usurp the president for a moment, because this would normally be the president's job, but since the president is the one receiving, someone else has to do it. When she gave her inaugural speech on July 1st, she was also finishing her competent communication manual. Therefore, we have her competent communication pin.
Thank you very much.
Certainly.
Now, it's not 1,000 speeches, but it's been a year and a half in the making, and I'm very proud of this, and anyone else who's making an attempt to complete a manual, this is proof that it does come with a achievement. Look at that, now it's silver and gold. All right, and that concludes our meeting. Let me find this thing. Okay.